The tabletop takeaway.
Game mechanics on display.
Three designers share the stage.
Pick a genre and we'll play.
The tabletop takeaway.
Welcome back to the Tabletop Takeaway. I'm Ananda.
I'm Charlie McCarran.
And I'm Trevor Muller-Hagel.
And today we are going to be doing our wrap-up episode, our bonus episode, on multiplayer abstract strategy games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we played 3 of these games. We played Element, we played Hey, That's My Fish, and we played Homeworlds.
Yeah. So listen back if you want the full description of them. But yeah, what did you guys feel like you learned from multiplayer abstract strategy?
Well,
games?
let's clarify. Multiplayer in this sense is more than 2 players.
Yes.
There's a lot of 2-player abstract strategy games out there, chess being a big one of those. But yeah, like, I really like them.
Yeah.
I think this is a really great... I forget how much I like abstract games, too.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's shockingly easy to forget. I guess, I don't know, I feel like there's some stigma with abstract strategy games.
Absolutely is. Yeah, and I think part of it's, too, like, you normally don't draw out a very thematic experience. So if you're like trying to do like a role-playing thing, you don't really want that to be abstract. You want that to be pretty like you're concrete in this world doing this stuff.
Yeah.
But abstract, you are really just abstractly moving things. And honestly, this is going to be a weird sentence, I know. It feels more gamey to me. More like a game as opposed to an experience.
Yeah. Well, it puts consistency, or it puts the mechanics above the theme.
Yes.
It looks for what's best for gameplay as opposed to what necessarily makes the most sense.
Right.
And that...
Yeah. I think it's appealing to me because I know that if an abstract strategy game got published, it's probably like pretty interesting mechanics. Whereas sometimes you don't know about very thematic games. It's like, is the gameplay going to be interesting, or is it more like...
Did they put all the money into the artwork? Or is it actually into development?
Yeah.
Or is it like an IP thing?
Right.
Yeah.
I will say, the games that we played... while they are abstract strategy games, they do have a theme.
All of them had themes.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I thought they weren't too far off the theme.
No. It actually felt very thematic, strangely enough.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting from this series once we started it.
Yeah, Homeworld's like...
Yeah.
If you were just looking at this on the table, you'd be like, what are these guys playing?
Yeah, literally looks like we're just playing
pyramids
with
just
toys.
stacked up.
But while you're playing it, you can feel the space empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The colors really mean something. Like, you actually have almost a definition to everything that feels tactile.
Yeah.
In a way, it sort of loops into, like, Theater of the Mind. Like, which is more of, you think of RPGs, which are totally the opposite.
So now we're in the abstract strategy RPG. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, That's My Fish also felt pretty accurate because, like, the sliding across the ice, right? You can go how far you want, leaving holes in the ice.
Yeah.
That makes sense. The ice is breaking.
Yeah, because you're putting weight on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're abstract, but they still make sense. Mm-hmm. I guess one possible question is, what is the difference then between abstract and non-abstract?
I mean, there's probably abstract game purists who would say, like, oh, it's...
None of the games you covered are abstract games at all.
Yeah, they're more like Go, I guess, would be... Because even chess technically sort of has a theme.
That's technically combat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess part of it is a reliance on mechanics over content.
Yeah.
Like, in a lot of games, a big part of the draw is the content. In the sense that, like, you're playing Dominion, right? And there's all these different cards that you can explore, right? You can do a different one each game. And
find combos of things.
Right.
Yeah.
Or in, say, in Oath, you know, there's lots of cards. It's often cards. Cards are a very easy way to add content. Or in like an asymmetric game, There are different factions that you can try out. But in an abstract strategy game, you get all the mechanics up first. There's usually no text. There's usually no cards. It's just, okay, here's the game. Here are the mechanics. This is everything that there is to see in the game.
Right.
If you play it again, you're not going to see any new content. People might have new strategies.
Right.
But all the stuff is there. And I think that's one really important feature of them.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this lately, actually, about games that have hidden information versus everything's on the table, which I think is, people would agree that's probably a requirement mostly for for abstract strategy games, that you see everything on the table. But I guess even in our example of Element
breaks that.
Yeah.
You're drawing things from the bag.
And normally you don't have any randomization in abstract strategy games, but in Element you do. But it feels like an abstract strategy game 100%.
I mean, it is sort of input randomness in
True.
Element.
You to decide how many tokens you get versus how much you move. And then
that part is output randomness, but I mean, you get the elements before you decide where to put them.
Oh, I see.
It's not like you're saying, "Oh, I'm going to put an element here. What is it going to be?"
Mm-hmm.
Draw it from the bag.
Yeah.
It's like Carcassonne, where you draw a tile first.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I guess one thing I've been thinking about is, like, if everything is known information, could there be a good abstract strategy co-op or not? I feel like I heard about one, but it
full co-op, not like semi co-op.
Yeah,
or
fully
team
co-op.
versus team.
Because I think why they work for competitive games is because the hidden information is your opponent's.
It's your brain.
Their brains. Yeah. What are they going to do? And that's what makes it interesting. But if everything is literally out on the table, I don't know that you could make an amazing co-op game unless it's.
You might be able to.
Maybe not.
Well,
I take it back.
I mean,
because I already thought of something
you
else.
thought of a abstract co-op game?
It's not an abstract game, but Micro Macro Crime City is a co-op puzzle-solving thing where you see everything on the board, and it's just a matter of perception.
Right.
So I don't know.
Well,
it's a challenge, though.
Yeah. That brings up an interesting point, though, because when I think of abstract strategy, not only is there no hidden information, but all of the action does seem to take place on a central board.
Yeah.
Players don't really have their own
tableau.
Their own tableau. I feel like that's another thing that goes along with abstract strategy is
shared space.
Shared space, yes. Yeah. I guess we should maybe talk about multiplayer abstract strategy in particular.
Sure.
Well, not that we can't talk about abstract strategy as well, but I guess first of all, the attack left thing works great, I think.
Yeah, that was in 2 of the games we played, Element and Homeworlds, where you're targeting the person on your left. So it's not, because if it's open-ended, then you feel kind of bad. Who
are
do
you trying to be the last person standing? Like, what's the objective then? Too?
Yeah.
I will say that the Homeworlds attack left thing is one of multiple ways to play multiplayer. There is a different variant called Good versus Evil, which essentially turns it into a social deduction game, weirdly, where one player is evil and the other players are good. And when you eliminate someone, if they're evil, then the good team wins. And if the evil player eliminated a good player, then the evil player wins, but nobody knows who's on which team.
So how does it become very social? Like
I don't know, because I don't play that variant. I don't think the game should be like that.
It sounds hilarious to me, but
I mean, once you get really comfortable with the rules of it, that would actually be that'd be a fun time. Let's try it once.
I don't know about that. It feels kind of
arbitrary.
I say
a fun time being that it would be an experience that would be unique and different from what it would be normally.
Sure.
Yeah, because just imagining how that would play out, every action you do would kind of signal something about
intention or
I think one of the things you have to be very careful about with abstract strategy games, with multiplayer abstract strategy games, is scaling, because each player, specifically because each player generally has I should say if each player has one action, as is generally the case, then more players means more chances to stop someone in between your turns, which can be very bad.
That's true.
Santorini is my favorite example of this, which I think I keep talking about. But in Santorini, the game is either 2-player or 3-player. It is 2 to 3 players. And I do not understand why, because the 3-player game is awful. It's a game where you're, I think you're trying to get to the top of a level 3 building, and you're putting buildings on the board.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I played, actually. But in a 3-player game, players just keep on blocking each other, because like someone's about to win, and then the other 2 players will block them.
Yep.
Which I feel like that didn't happen that much in the attack left games.
No.
Even though, I mean, in theory it could, right? Like you could team up to stop the winner, but players in practice don't seem to do that.
Right, and you're trying to win yourself while outrunning the other person too.
Yeah.
So it just not a lot of room.
Yeah, there's just an advantage of 2-player games that you just don't feel bad for attacking the person you're against.
That's the whole game.
Yeah, that's the whole.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're ganging up on anyone when there's only one other person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I felt like Hey, That's My Fish, though, was the best scaling-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Which is maybe because your actions can sort of help other players by breaking up the ice in certain ways.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's not... maybe I don't understand the strategy of the game well enough, but it's not clear to me how you would gang up on someone in that game.
Yeah, you'd have to honestly, it'd probably almost happen by accident more often than on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's think about some other abstract strategy games that are multiplayer. I was thinking of Tsuro. Feels like it. It's pretty different.
It's very puzzly.
Yeah, that one's more puzzly. Very abstract. Tile laying, where you have tiles that show paths, and when you place a tile next to your stone or your player pawn, whatever, it moves along the path automatically. So it's basically just placing tiles, making sure you still have a route and don't get knocked into someone else or pushed off the board.
And each one has 8 technical roads into the tile, and they may pass through, they may turn around, they may make a curve. Mm-hmm. Who knows what it's going to do until you play it.
In that one, you're sort of limited to interacting with people who are very close by, which I think helps to prevent the multiplayer potential issue for scaling.
Yeah, and maybe it's more about how the positioning of your pawns and stuff on the board. Another one someone mentioned when I mentioned this series, Blockus is another tile laying one, but it feels like in the same vein, where you're placing down polyomino pieces and trying to survive as long as you can. And you are blocking other people, but there's still routes around.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I kind of like that, survive as long as you can. It's not you're trying to kill someone. You're trying to...
Not die.
Hey, That's My Fish is kind of like that. Because you're trying to keep going as long as you can.
Element is like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Homeworld is not really... Well, I guess in both Element and Homeworld, you are trying to eliminate someone, but it does feel in Element more like you're trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
That's the emphasis there. Whereas in Homeworld, it feels more like the emphasis is on eliminating the player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Which is a difference between them.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it feel that way? That feels like that's important.
Maybe it's the fact that there's no board space with Homeworlds, so you could always just
you never feel
escape.
Trapped in the space.
Yeah.
In space, it's so big.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense. If the emphasis, okay, sure, yeah, the emphasis in what was
Element?
it? In Element, the emphasis is on you have to be able to move. If you can't move, you die, and your opponent is going to try to stop you from moving. That's true, but the onus is on you to find a way to get out.
Right.
Whereas in Homeworlds, if you don't do anything, your opponent's not going to die. Their home system is going to be fine. The only way they die is if you go and blow up their stars.
Right.
So the onus is, it's sort of who has the responsibility for winning or losing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thinking about just generally like this in Hey, That's My Fish and Element, space is getting reduced on the board. Mm-hmm. Like Go is like that too. There's less and less space to work in. Versus on the other end, chess there's more and more space as pieces are getting eliminated. And it's kind of, I mean, I'll always talk about chess, but you can listen back to that episode. But it's just making me think about how in chess you're constrained at the beginning because you got that row of pawns.
Right.
There's a cool arc. They even describe it usually as beginning, middle game, end game, where first you're getting the pawns out there, you're getting your pieces into position, then stuff starts getting destroyed on the board during the mid game, and then the end game is like, ooh, there's so much space. How do you actually checkmate someone?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Homeworlds where space is kind of...
It's infinite.
Infinite
possibilities. You can go wherever you want.
The only restriction is the number of a color you have in a space, in a location.
Yeah, you are limited by the supply, but you can always fix that by blowing stuff up.
Right.
So what would you guys do for an abstract game?
Oh, I really want to make one now.
I would love to do something along the line of Element, or like something that is very kind of focused on the traps and the dynamic puzzle that's created by the players.
I'm not sure if it would be abstract or not, but I kind of want to make a game that models space in a similar way to Homeworlds.
Okay.
Where instead of it being what if it were a 4X game? Because there's loads of 4X space games. It's a super popular theme for a 4X game.
Yeah.
A 4X game, but instead of it taking place on like some two-dimensional board like they usually do, it has an abstract model of space. Like not the same thing as Homeworld exactly with the different size stars.
Sure.
But just the abstract in that you have some criterion for which worlds can connect to each other, and you can freely discover and lose locations at will, and you can go wherever you want and make people deal with that. Because that seems like that would be a cool concept for a 4X game that I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you basically would draw a system or something, and you would go there and it would have specific things on the system. Then you could leave it and it would go back to the pile.
Exactly, yeah. You can discover and lose planets. And I don't know, it could be called like infinite space or something.
Yeah.
Because the premise is it's space. It should be infinite. You should be able to go wherever you want. I think that would be a cool 4X game.
I like that. Yeah, just a gigantic deck of planet cards would be awesome.
Or you make your own planets somehow. Sure. I'm not sure how, but yeah.
But then would you get into the what's the gigantic video game that infinite space?
Are you talking about the one that's procedurally generated?
Yeah.
I think it's No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky is that video game. There's also an MMO.
Yeah.
That's older. That has a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah.
But,
because the complaint about that game I've heard is that it feels samey after a while because everything is procedurally generated.
Just for their defense, they have now done an even more in-depth update than the last update.
Okay.
And apparently it's a lot better now than it was. I haven't played it recently. But.
See, the difference is that's a video game.
Yeah.
So
Their constraints are creating the things over and over again.
Yeah. The players are like exploring, and the exploration is... And
sure. In the defense of that, I think that's such a cool concept, and I'm sure I would enjoy that game. But that's just being devil's advocate, like the risk of generating something might not feel as unique actually as something that is
pre-gen.
Oh, you found this.
I guess it could just be a giant deck of cards. Sure.
Well, you do whatever.
Actually,
that seems fun.
One of the cool things about being able to just discard things like that, like, oh, I don't want this planet anymore, let's get rid of it, is you could have mechanics where like the planets have limited amounts of resources that you use up, and
I feel like that theme will not land as well as these days. Anyways, yeah. I think if I was going to do one, maybe that would be a fun challenge to make a co-op abstract strategy game. And how could you make it fun?
You'd
Maybe
have
with
to
a
have
timer.
a push and pull of your actions of some kind.
Yeah.
Timer is rarely the answer. I have learned that.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is. But I will say, like, having a push and pull, kind of like when you do something, there's a reaction to it. And if that reaction is what you're trying to time out and figure out as the part of the puzzle together as a group, then I think that could be really interesting.
Yeah.
But you have to have, like, a reaction to an action that can be understood.
Yeah. And maybe you'd have to lean into... So, like, when talking about randomness, I'm forgetting what the term was, but... there's many different types of randomness, and one of them is the randomness of not being able to analyze everything, and that's essentially chess. Like, unless you're a computer, you won't be able to analyze
the
every
entire board
possibility.
state. Yeah.
And if it was co-op, the issue is the AP people might try to figure everything out, so you still probably need something hidden.
Yeah. And as we learned with Element, you can have some sort of unplannable information.
Yeah, and
I
still
think that's really
feel
interesting.
like... Yeah.
And I think that would be really good because then you can, like, kind of play with that randomization and see how that kind of fares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, have we said takeaways?
I don't think so.
Okay. Right. So, my takeaway from abstract strategy... I guess I usually don't play abstract strategy games that much. I don't know why, but they're pretty cool, and I think maybe one of my big takeaways is that you don't need a ton of content if you can create strong enough connections between the mechanics that you have, and I think the connections are really important. I guess hey that's my fish. Well, no, I mean things are pretty connected in that game, but I'm just thinking of, like, in Element, the way the different elements interact. In Homeworlds, the way everything interacts with the supply, the limited supply. You don't need content if your mechanics are well enough connected. Is my takeaway, I guess.
I think my takeaway came from you saying the word replayability, because I thought about, why don't you play abstract strategy as much? I don't know. Maybe a thought is, like, they don't feel like enough replayability to want to come back to it. But I think there's potential for them a lot. And what I really appreciated in Homeworlds is the idea that you get to draft your setup. So thinking about which colors you want to use would make a very different game.
Colors and sizes.
Yep. And thinking about why I love chess also. Yes, the setup is the same, but actually you spend several turns making your setup, which is your opening. And so you can actually feel like, oh, I'm creating what I want to do as my setup. And that's why people love, like, studying openings, because you can feel like, ooh, I want to try doing a game that's like King's Gambit or something.
So are you saying that the key to replayability in abstract strategy games is choosing your setup?
Maybe.
I
think that's my takeaway.
That seems like a pretty good
Hey,
takeaway.
that's my fish. Actually, you also are. You're making
true.
your setup. Where do you want to place your... And I thought about that because I was like, do I want to put my penguins all in the center so they have options, or go for the three fish right away?
So for my takeaway, it's going to kind of, I think, fall in between both of yours a little bit. I think the real key for multiplayer abstract strategy is to have multiple layers of systems that kind of stack really neatly together. And so like you have the first, like you talked about heuristics for element, or was it? No, it's for, hey, that's my fish. Where like go for the points, that's the easiest thing to do. You know to do that, you can start to do that. But then having that depth of that next layer and that next layer of like, oh, if I get this section to myself, I get all these fish, and then I can focus on another section. And so being able to carefully layer those things together, you know, with element, being able to override the different elements with their corresponding, or the whatever the defeating element is, that's a really interesting increase in that strategy, and you can kind of play a more deep game at that point. So I think, being able to layer those nicely together, and not just like, I would say checkers is probably not a great example of this. I don't know if there's a lot of heuristics with checkers. I would never probably analyze it that much. But like chess, you have a lot of different things going on, and like you're talking about having these different phases and being able to do different things. You're always trying to trap the opponent, but you're kind of setting up yourself for success. So yeah, I think having those very, very clear layers is really important for abstract strategies.
Yeah. Playing offense versus playing defense on certain things
right.
It's interesting too. Like, how much do I risk myself by putting myself out there as an attacker versus defense?
Yeah. Should I blow up my only defending ship in order to destroy Trevor's star?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Yeah. Well, this was really fun. I enjoyed these multiplayer abstract strategy games with you guys. And yeah, we'll tune in next time for our next series.
Hey, thanks for listening to The Tabletop Takeaway. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. So please tell your friends and visit our website at thetabletoptakeaway.com, where you can suggest games and mechanics for us to cover next on the show.